So I want to talk to you about having hard conversations. They are obviously not easy, or they would they would occur more often, right? Conversations that include any sort of resentment between two people, or something that's kind of embarrassing that you need to talk with somebody about, or even something that you may have a history with that person, and maybe you've tried to have a conversation with them before, and there's been nothing that's been changed or anything like that, then it's going to make that conversation really difficult. And if you're in a leadership position, you're going to have to have these hard conversations. And if you're in any kind of relationship, whether it's personal or professional, you're going to find yourself in a position where something difficult needs to be said or something difficult needs to be resolved. And that's going to start with a difficult conversation. But those conversations have to be had. You have to be the person who is the hero of that situation, and at least start the dialogue, start the conversation. There's always going to be some fear associated with it. There's always going to be some trepidation associated with it. But it is so vitally important for you to take the first step, even if you fumble a little bit. It's okay. It's all right, because the whole goal of a conversation, or goal of conflict resolution, is to get a shared meaning. We don't have to necessarily agree, but we at least have to understand where the other person is coming from. You're not going to get that understanding if you don't start having the conversation, no matter how difficult it is. So to help with the starting of the conversation, there's a few questions that I would have ask a person who's in this coaching or in this predicament if I was coaching them. The first one is, what are you afraid might happen if you speak up? Like, what do you actually think is going to occur? Do you think the certain person is going to get violent? Do you think they're going to uh, start to resent you? Do you think the relationship's going to end? Do you think the friendship is going to get even more tension? But you can ask yourself that question. What do you think is going to happen if you actually speak up? What are you afraid of? And put some real brain bites to that and see if you can visualize what could happen if you kind of play that conversation out in your head. The second question I would ask is, what is the cost of staying silent? So if you continue to not have the conversation, is there going to be continued resentment? Is it going to get deeper resentment? Are you going to, um, or rather, is this relationship going to get more difficult as you continue not having the conversation? So what is the cost of not speaking up? It's an important question to ask. And down to the reality of it, right? How could honesty strengthen this relationship? I had a friend of mine one time say that clarity is kindness. And I think what he meant by that is that no matter how difficult the feedback is, or no matter how difficult the conversation is, or how maybe negatively the person may take it initially, you are providing them a kindness by telling them the feedback and having the hard conversation. And that's where the clarity is kindness, and where you think about it from the perspective that, hey, I could actually build this relationship better if I can have an honest, open conversation about it. So ask yourself that question: how could speaking up actually strengthen this relationship? So this week, I know, or rather, this post is kind of short, but the call to action I want you to do, the thing I want you to do as it relates to this, is if you are experiencing that kind of fear, okay, of a conversation, the best thing to do is to get it started, right? Well, you got to get it started somehow. A really good way to do that is to just write down the truth that you've been kind of holding back. Actually, just write it down, okay? And look at it and say, this is the conversation I want to have. This is the challenge I'm having with this person. This is the feedback I want to give to this person. And write it down fully. Don't hold back anything, and read it. Okay. And then you can start kind of crafting that. Once you've got it full and unedited in front of you, that truth that's written down, you can start to craft that into a opening salvo, opening dialogue that you can have with that person to start the conversation. But just writing it down can really help initially first. All right. So I hope you find this valuable. As always, if you want to delve further into this, you can get a hold of me at getacecoaching.com. And I look forward to the next time we have one of these blogs. Have a great day.